Hi everyone, it's Sweet Kid here, and today I just hope your weekend has been great so far. It's Monday today, and well, I spent my Sunday working, as a mascot, and you can laugh at me all you want, but I just found it fun. I made some kids happy, and I got paid at the end of it, and I got tipped, so that was great because I was at this birthday party. It was Paw Patrol themed, and there was this chase costume that I had to wear, and it was really cumbersome. It stunk, and I couldn't see anything. It wasn't like the costumes that I personally own, so it was pretty awful, but I got paid, and the guy who hired me was really easygoing about my situation, that the costume is just poorly built. So anyway, with my weekend out of the way, I wanted to talk about Engineering Symphony, which is that event that has appeared on the left side of the map that needs 2 lock-ins and you get a prize car. Now, the first lock-in is already a problem because Radford is an uncommon brand that not many people are gonna have a lot of parts sitting on standby for, because unless you spend a lot of keys or you somehow have a lot of Radfords and strip them, which is very unlikely, or you do have a race pass, you are not going to get this car anywhere close to max because you have to spend a ton of bronze keys. And especially the bigger problem I feel about such cars are fusion parts, because you can get stage 6s, and stage 6s aren't too common. Look at things this way: if you were to open 49 of those events crates, you will get all of the stage 6s that you need because of the loyalty reward. Unfortunately, why do I say rare fusion parts? The red fusion parts are not tied to any loyalty anywhere, so it's up to basically the game to decide what rarity of fusion part you're going to get, and usually it's a green or blue one, and that's horrible. So if you do open lots of crates, you are going to find that red ones are very rare, and I'd rather get a red fusion part than I would a stage 6, because again, if I were to open until loyalty, I could get the stage 6s that I need, and if I open enough, I can get all of these stage 6s. And once you open after 49, because that's the minimum to get all stage 6s, stage 6s are just pointless unless they share stage 6s with this regular type 622 with the prize car over here. And that's the problem. Unless you're willing to spend a ton of bronze keys and you have the race pass, this is not a car that you're going to max very easily. And moving on to the next one, this is another problem if you don't have the car. And this was a prize car in a duality a very long time ago, when I wasn't into CSR2 very seriously. So this car, if you don't have it, you can get it, but it's in gold crates. And this is the big issue, because gold crates are already a pain to open because gold keys are very rare unless you buy a lot like me. And yeah, I do spend a lot of money in this game because it brings me happiness, so don't judge me. So this car is worth 100 gold keys if you get unlucky, and that already is setting the tone for what I have to say. If you don't have it, you shouldn't try, unless, and this is unless, you have a ton of Bentley parts sticking around. Because even if you don't do this event, or you don't have enough Radford parts to throw around, this car in itself is one of the best life racers that probably exist in the game, if we're looking just at a purely PP to EVO ratio, because this car can achieve, I believe, nearly 3,000, around 3,000 PP. Why did I say PP? EVO at about 640 PP. So that alone makes it a very deadly car. And unless you're in a Dino Destroyer, Dino Beater, or whatever, this car is going to wreck you. And if you tune it right, you will be unbeatable in every single life race. Again, unless your opponent can beat Dino, which might happen if you challenge the wrong person, but hey, this is CSR2. And assuming you can get to the last lock-in, it's this Type 622, which is a Brabham what do I say, Brabham? A Radford, just like the first one. So if you have gotten to this point, chances are all your parts, all your why I keep saying Brabham? All your Radford Fusion parts are tied to the first one that you've locked in. So if you want to transfer them over, say goodbye to your gold. And that's why I just don't see a point in continuing past this race, just like I did with the recent Aston Martin event, because, well, Aston Martin parts were pretty common. To finish it, I had to use a lot of money if I wanted to get stage 6s for the damn thing, upgrade it all for 15 gold keys. And honestly, it's just not too worth it. I'd rather just keep the car on hand and work on it in my free time, which won't be happening, the Valiant. And if I were to do this, which I'm unlikely to, it will not be happening. I will just keep this car on standby, work on it bit by bit, because it's not going to be used in an event. Very unlikely. It's just a car you own, upgrade, and just use it as and when you please. So it could be a good life racer, because I know the regular Radford Type 622 has a pretty good PP to Evo ratio, and at a first glance, this is my thought. I don't have the car upgraded, so I cannot be sure, but from a first glance, it does seem promising, and I will be looking at it, assuming it comes as a Prestige Cup car, because I ain't spending any gold keys or whatever resources upgrading mine, because again, there's just no point just to get this other Radford, which is not going to be used. No thank you. So that's it. This event is just a skip for me, unless somehow I just convince myself to spend $100 on gold keys. I will buy some gold keys, because don't get me wrong, the bundles that they do put up are pretty worth it, because I do buy them and I just wait for a good car to come along. But then again, I should bring up that this is a purple star car, so even if I do get this car, getting parts for it is a pain, because it's likely that the crates are paid and I just won't have a good time. So yeah, that's my perspective on this little event. If you have the Bentley from the other duality, definitely do it, because Bentley parts, you can just strip the Bentayga, all the useless Continental GTs that you are bound to get sooner or later when you open crates, and you're just gonna be drowning in Bentley parts. You have more parts than you know what to do with, and this is a car just deserves them. It's the one of the two good Bentleys in this game, this Pikes Peak, the other one being that green Bentley that is also a GT3. But other than these two, just don't upgrade any Bentleys. They're just all crap. The GT Speed and the recent Prestige Cup car, the Bator, those were just awful, and I regret upgrading those and experimenting. And the Type 622 could be good, but I don't have any proof to show that it is a good car. I will test it out when it comes as a Prestige Cup car, because by then it's easier to acquire resources. But other than that, I am likely to just stay far away from this event. So that basically wraps it up for what I have to say about this engineering symphony. But unfortunately, another thing that I just wanted to bring up before I end this off is the fact that one of my cars, my live race cars that I actually started this PP to Evo thing on, has been changed, and I don't know why. Now, if you look at this Corvette Stingray, it has 572 PP and 292 Evo, and it was never like this before the recent update, because I can assure you, I had 453 PP and 1616 Evo. In case you haven't noticed, a lot of my garages have so-called nice numbers when it comes to the car's Evo. Because if you look at the garage over here, 2345, 2121, 2662, 2000, and 2266, and 2024 for a 2024 car. These, to me, make it easy to remember that nothing has to change, and this is my little setup. And as you can see, the trend just continues every so often, because I always make it in my best interest to have an easy number to remember so I can see at first glance if something changed. And in my case, this absolutely worked with this Corvette because 1616 stood out to me, and now it has 292. And I can assure you the tune is exactly the same, and so were the upgrades. So I do suspect that Natural Motion is doing something to either the game's how it matches up people in live racing, or how it evaluates a car's PP and Evo, because, well, this one changed. The other car with a ridiculous PP value didn't change, and that's this M2 Coupe. It's still at the 2-digit PP, and sure enough, it's just remained this way since the day I made this tune. So in case you guys didn't know, the Hyundai Elantra N used to have a similar tune with 0 PP and 6,000 Evo, and that was fixed. And while that was a car specific change, I'm not sure if this one right here, the Corvette, although this is a very old car, if the change was specific to this car or matchmaking. I cannot say if it's one or the other, but I wanted to give everyone a heads up to know what's going on, because I highly doubt anyone these days uses this car because it's very, very slow. Because before everything, this car runs in the 16-second lobbies, and if you're there, you're likely just a new player or you're using this car right here. And with that stupid change out of the way, I do hope that my guide has been helpful today, and that it has helped you make your decision if you're participating in that Engineering Symphony event or not. I'm very unlikely to be participating, but I might want to just get the Bentley, and I use a might very loosely because 100 gold keys is just no joke for a car. I genuinely rather participate in an event where my gold keys can actually get a live racer that's gold star, so I can easily get parts for it, and is more unassuming because I have seen people just judge cars by looks, and you shouldn't do that in CSR2, but a lot of new players do that, and because of that, a lot of my good live racers that are purple stars just keep getting the races refused. So again, thank you so much for listening. I do hope that I have helped you make a decision, and I will see you next time. Thank you, everybody.